Almost 500,000 Filipino Americans call the San Francisco Bay Area home. So it's no surprise that this is where you'll find some of the best Filipino food in America.
So I'm adding a tad bit of a, ooh, love it.
With a new generation of Filipino chefs putting their own spins on classic dishes.
It just smells so good.
There's excitement in the air about what it means to cook true Filipino cuisine.
Filipino cuisine, what is that? It's like, it's just a boiling pot of Spanish, Chinese, even American, you know? And then from there, we just created our own take on certain dishes, and that's Filipino food for us.
That's what brought me to Oakland, California, where I visited Dela and Bobby Punla, former fine dining chefs that have come together to open Lika, their Filipino pop-up.
Lika means to create.
We're creating our culture, creating food, creating like a narrative. It's like a lot of dots to connect, whether it's from our personal stories and just like other people just like us wanting to know about theirs.
Their story comes alive in their menu of Filipino classics made with modern twists, including Sisig, a rich and tangy pork dish that's a popular bar snack in the Philippines.
It's not your typical Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. You're not gonna bring that. It's definitely a Friday night thing.
It's a bar food, late night, after drinking. It's a snack.
Even though they worked for years in high-end kitchens cooking many different cuisines, it took years for Bobby and Jan to have the confidence to tell their own story through food.
I would have never guessed that like our culture at that time was like, you know, we could do Filipino food. We are good enough to like serve to the public.
I mean, honestly, I think it all boils down to having this colonial mentality that cooking Filipino food is not as prestigious as, say, cooking New American, Italian, New French cuisine.
I just put the dry stuff that's been marinating, just stick it in.
Filipino food is full of bold flavors and bright colors. It's a vibrant cuisine that Jan and Bobby love to share with their guests.
So this is our 24-hour marinade of our sisig, the shoulder and the belly, and just you're gonna get it charred, cooked all the way through, get the crispy bits. The most important part.
Yeah, the flame's definitely jumping up and licking it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So now we're just cutting it into smaller cubes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
There you go.
And then while my grill is still going, with the little cast iron skillets that we have, I'm gonna put it over the charcoal. When you hear something sizzle, it's always someone's always gonna break their neck. It's like, whoa.
All right, so once the meat's cut, I'm gonna add some chopped garlic and then the mayo, and just mix it all up together. It's like a pork salad.
Sizzle platter coming in nice and hot.
I'm gonna put the seasoning in there. And then Bobby will crack the egg. And then from here, it's kind of like teamwork.
For Bobby and Jan, the path to connecting their culinary pedigree and their culture wasn't always visible.
It just smells so good.
But today, they're one of the strongest promoters of Filipino cuisine in the Bay Area.
At the end of the day, I was like, we're two Filipinos cooking our culture, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, the word authentic gets bended and twisted in so many ways, but hey, we're both Filipino.
For us, it's Philippines.
Yeah, both are Filipino making Filipino food, so that's what's authentic to us.
And any authentic dish is best served with friends and beers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That is so good, man.
Everything I've been craving.
Smells like home. Goes perfectly well with beer.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'll do that.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Not sure what to make tonight? We have an app for that. That's right. Our app gives you exclusive access to thousands of recipes and reviews from Cook's Country and the entire America's Test Kitchen family. You'll also get exclusive access to helpful step-by-step videos and have the ability to stream every season of Cook's Country ad-free without interruptions like this. Anywhere, anytime, on any mobile device. For a more personalized experience, our app also allows you to search by ingredients, set dietary preferences, save recipes, and make notes along the way. Scan the QR code or visit the App Store to keep Cook's Country in the palm of your hand. And now it's our turn to make sisig here in the Cook's Country kitchen with Brian and hanging out with Bobby and Jan. They look like cool dudes.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun to hang out with and really talented chefs.
All right.
So we're gonna start with our pork marinade. We have a half cup of cane vinegar. This is used a lot in Filipino cooking. It's derived from sugar cane. If you can't find that, you could use rice vinegar, or I've even used cider vinegar. We'll add a third of a cup of soy sauce, and then we're going to add our liquid seasoning. 1.5 tablespoons of liquid seasoning. You can find this brand from Knorr or Maggi. 4 teaspoons of granulated garlic, and 4 teaspoons of onion powder here. All right, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. So this is gochugaru, or Korean chili flakes. They add a really nice floral note, nice grassiness, but with none of the heat that you get from red pepper flakes. So we'll whisk our marinade together just to combine. Okay, so now we can come over and talk about pork. So this dish is traditionally made with pig's heads and liver. Bobby and Jan rethought this dish and used pork belly and pork butt. So this is about 1.25 pounds of pork belly. We've gone ahead and frozen it slightly so it's firmed up a little bit and it's easier to slice when it's nice and hard like that.
And doesn't have any skin on it.
Right, skinless. We want to cut this into about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick slices. So we'll go ahead and just drop these into our marinade.
All right. Oh.
And then we could cut up our pork butt. Same thing, about 1/2 inch thick slices. This one tends to be a little bit more tricky to slice, so it's okay if it gets a little bit thicker. Give this a toss in our marinade. But you want to let this sit for at least 12 hours. This could go for up to 2 days, but 12 hours will do the trick. Then we're going to transfer it to a Ziploc bag. This just smells so good.
It does.
We'll drop the rest of this marinade in there. Perfect. I'm going to remove the air from that, and we could just drop this in the refrigerator. We'll let it go for at least 12 hours, but if you're going to be here in a couple days, I'll let it go for a couple days.
Okay.
All right, Julia, it is a beautiful day for grilling.
It is a beautiful day.
We have our fire set up. And what I have here is a half grill fire. I've cooked down in the chimney 6 quarts of charcoal briquettes until they get coated with a light gray ash. And I pour them over half the grill. The reason for that is because we're cooking very fatty meats today. So it's pork belly and pork shoulder. And as that meat cooks, it'll drip the fat into the fire. It can cause flare-ups. So I like to have like a safety zone here on the side with no coals so I can move in case there's a massive flare-up.
I love it. The safety zone.
The safety zone. So we're going to start off by cleaning our cooking grate. Then we're going to lightly oil our grill with a little bit of vegetable oil. And now we can go ahead and put our pork onto the grill. We're just going to lay it down. So we're going to cook our pork in 2 batches today. In case there's a flare up, I don't want to have too much meat on the grill, so it's hard for me to kind of control what's going on. We do want some charring on this meat, so lightly brown, crispy edges.
So you mentioned they cook this on a hibachi,
Right.
which, is flames. It's basically charcoal. What about gas? Because you're not going to get the flames licking the meat like that.
No, you can definitely do it on gas. It just takes a little bit longer, about 6 minutes per side instead of the 4 minutes that we're working with here. But you can find instructions for that on our website. All right, so you can see nicely charred and crispy, sizzling. So we'll add the second batch of meat to the grill, and then we'll finish up and go inside.
All right.
While our pork is resting, we could prep up some of our other garnishes for the sisig.
Okay.
So I have a serrano pepper here. I just want to go ahead and slice it very thin in thin rings. So we're going to take half of this and save it for our garnish of our finished dish.
All right.
And the other half is going to go into our pork mixture. And then we're going to need about half cup of onion all day. That's about a half cup there. So we'll put about half of this into our pork mixture. And then the other 1/4 cup will go into this bowl. So we'll add that to our sisig as it cooks in the skillet. All right, now our pork is cool enough to handle, so we can go ahead and start chopping that up. So we're going to cut this into about 1/4 inch pieces. Again, like our slices, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh, it smells good.
All right, so our pork is in the bowl. We can go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. I have 6 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So 6 tablespoons here. 3 minced garlic cloves. To nod to Bobby and Jan, a little bit more of that liquid seasoning. 1.5 teaspoons here. And then 1.5 tablespoons of calamansi juice.
Calamansi.
Have you ever had calamansi?
No, never.
All right, so this is what calamansi looks like.
Okay.
Either shades of orange or green. The flavor of calamansi, it's a cross between lemon, lime, and orange all at once. It's very sour. See how adorable that is?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you give that a taste?
Ooh. It doesn't taste like I thought it would at all. Yeah. I was expecting it to be more orangey in nature, but no, it's lime and lemon.
Yeah, very floral, right? So that's in there, and we just mix this all up. All right, so that's all set. To accompany our sisig, we're gonna serve garlic fried rice. This is 4.5 cups of cooked jasmine rice. And one of the things I like to do with leftover rice is it tends to have big clumps in it. So I like to put it in a fine mesh strainer and I run it under cold running water. And this way I could break up the clumps with my hands. That water will stick to those grains. So when you start to fry the rice, it'll kind of rehydrate and be tender. So the star of the garlic fried rice show is actually fried garlic. So we have a skillet here with 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. We're going to turn it to medium heat. We're going to add 8 minced garlic cloves to this. We're going to let that go until the garlic begins to sizzle and turn golden brown. That takes about 3 minutes or so.
A lot of recipes you see, you don't want the garlic to turn golden because it has almost a slight bitter garlic flavor, but here you welcome it.
Right. It's going to infuse the oil. It'll give you a nice crunch in the rice. So our garlic is mostly all browned. It's nice and crispy. It starts to get sticky and stick to the spoon a little bit. So we can go ahead and add our rice along with a teaspoon of kosher salt. So we're going to let this rice cook for about 2 minutes. And what we're trying to do is obviously heat the rice up and also distribute that fried garlic throughout the rice. And once it's done and nice and hot, we can just put a lid on it and set it off to the side. All right, our rice is nice and hot.
Ooh, I can smell the garlic from here.
That's a good sign, right? So we're gonna just drop it into a serving dish. We'll just give it a little garnish with some sliced scallions. So we have here a 12-inch cast iron skillet that's been heating up over high heat for a good 10 minutes. It's really hot. You can see it's almost starting to turn a little bit white.
Yep.
And that's what we want. So into our hot skillet, we're gonna drop our pork salad mixture. And you can see how it smokes immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanna spread this out into a nice even layer. And then go ahead and make 3 little divots for our eggs. The remaining 1/4 cup of onion. 3 sliced scallions.
Oh, that looks good.
Then we could drop our eggs into our little divots. And we'll top this with about a 1/2 cup of broken chicharron, fried pork skin.
Garnish the pork with a little more pork.
You can never have too much pork. And then finally, some thinly sliced serranos, the remaining 1/2 of our serrano pepper.
Goodness.
So, and we'll garnish this with a couple of halves of our calamansi, like this. Make it real pretty. And we can drop it over here on this trivet, okay? So this is the presentation of it.
Wow.
And then with the eggs, this skillet still retains a lot of heat. You always want to keep that handle covered. Just go ahead and take the eggs and kind of stir them in just right at the end.
So they would do this table side.
Yeah.
My goodness, that smells good, Brian. Oh, the smells coming out of that skillet are incredible.
So we're going to get it while it's hot. So we'll portion out some rice here. Okay.
Thank you. There are so many smells going on here.
I know, right?
I can't wait to taste it.
All right, let me portion you out here so you get a little bit of everything. So you can imagine, like, you know, if you have guests coming over or, you know, even in a restaurant setting, just having this in the center of the table, just kind of like a real centerpiece. And then here's a little calamansi for you.
Oh, thank you. I like how it's warmed up in the skillet, so it's super
Extra
juicy.
juicy.
Yeah. I'm really excited to try this, Brian. One bite, all in. That is so good. There's so many flavors to work through. But through it all, you taste the heartiness of the pork. And then you taste the garnishes that are nice and fresh, and then you get the marinade.
Yeah, you get that
Wow.
sourness of the vinegar, that subtle backbone of the garlic, those chili flakes, that kind of grassiness of the serrano pepper.
And I love the base of garlicky rice underneath. That's just a really nice foil for all the flavors on top. I can't stop eating this. It's kind of like every bite it just gets a little better.
That means it's working.
Brian, this is incredible. Thank you for showing me how to make it.
Thank you.
If you want to make this fantastic, sizzling, spicy Filipino dish, start by marinating pork belly and pork butt in a potent mixture of cane vinegar, nor seasoning, and goju-garu. Char the meat over a hot grill and finish cooking in a ripping hot cast iron skillet. From Cook's Country, with a big help from our friends Jen and Bobby, Sisig with garlic fried rice. This is incredible.
It's all Bobby and Jan.
We hope you enjoyed this video and tune in for more.
Hit those like and subscribe buttons so you never miss a single one.
And if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, try our digital all-access membership, where you can stream every season of Cook's Country anytime, anywhere, and always ad-free.
Plus, you'll gain unlimited access to all of America's Test Kitchen fail-proof recipes, unbiased reviews, fresh episodes, exclusive offers, and more.
Just scan the QR code or head over to cookscountry.com to sign up for a free trial. And while you're there, sign up for our free newsletter and download our app.
And let's make something great together.